Okay, so this film is, or the review of the film is called King of the Zombies. It's a black and white film. It's an adventure comedy horror. Came out in 1941. It's rated PG and it's an hour and 4 minutes. Amazon have a rating of 4 out of 5. IMDb 5.2 out of 10. The Amazon synopsis is: in World War II, a small plane is blown off course and crash lands on an island. 3 survivors take refuge in a mansion owned by a doctor. Exploring, they find a voodoo ritual in the cellar where the doctor is trying to get secret info by creating zombies. So the director is Gene Yarbrough, Yarbrough, who directed Inside Job. The producer is Lindsley. It's a bit of a weird way, Lindsley Parsons, who published Rolling Plains. Music was Edward J. Kay, who did Lady Let's Dance. Now the cast, as usual, I've picked the ones that I liked. Dick Purcell was James McCarthy, and he was in Captain America. Mantan Moreland was Jefferson Jeff Jackson, and he was in Watermelon Man. John Archer was Bill Summers, and he was in White Heat. And Henry Victor was Dr. Miklos Sangri, and he was in Freaks. Now, if it's the Freaks I'm thinking of, it's a really old film, obviously, because that's when it came out. So, the intro music is kind of like the drums from Africa, like boom, 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 boom. I can't replicate it, but you know what I mean. If you ever watch any Tarzan films or King Kong films, you'll know what I mean. And then the trumpet starts to kick in, all while the credits are rolling. It's typical kind of 40s trumpet playing. And it literally starts exactly in a plane, so there's no intro, none of that stuff where they build up to it. They are literally in a plane. That's the first bit. So the crash in a graveyard, right? And so Mantan Moreland, who's the Jefferson Jeff Jackson, I think they just called him Jeff all the way through it all, wakes up next to a gravestone saying "Rest in peace," and he's like, "Oh, I ain't dead yet, man." Oh. And I was cracking up because it's supposed to be a comedy. So we've met the doctor, and from first impressions, I thought he was German, but then I don't want to assume. He could be Austrian for all I know. But he has that kind of German accent. But this is weird, right? Even though the plane crash landed, he's all okay about it. He's like, "Yeah, it's okay. I've got you some brandy, and your rooms are prepared." It's like, well, how can you prepare somebody's room? You know, I mean, wouldn't you be a bit curious why somebody's just crash landed in your garden? Well, graveyard. So Jeff, as I say, is the one with the comedy. He's also just met a zombie in the kitchen. So they're not like the ones in the modern films. So when you talk of zombies, you're thinking of Walking Dead. You're thinking of Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead. But maybe not Night of the Living Dead, but Return of the Living. All the zombie kind of films know that everyone kind of knows where the zombies run around like nutters, eating the flesh of everybody and all that lot. No. These zombies just basically just walk. Like, kind of like they're hypnotized, I would say. That's the kind of thing. They do crowd around people, but they just kind of and walk slowly, and they don't look like a zombie. They're just like a human being. So anyway, the doctor eventually said he's Austrian, so that's fine. Like I say, originally when I heard it, I was like, "Oh, is he German?" Because World War II. So there's an old woman. It's a cook. It's just a cackling old woman going, "Hey, have a good night," to Jeff, and it's just like, my God. So Jeff, I keep calling him Jeff because that's what he is in the film, but it's Mantan Moreland. Cracks so many jokes every minute. Literally, as soon as he appears on the screen, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Another joke. Another joke. Another joke. Another joke. It's like, my God, will you shut up? It's literally every time he says something, some sort of witty word, which was fine at first, but then after a while it just kind of grates on you. It's like, what the hell? Would you shut up and just get on with the film? Um, so the story's okay. I just think the zombies are just, like I say, people in a trance. And here's the weird thing. So the 5 seconds before Mac disappears, there were these Mac and James McCarthy and Bill Summers, who was John Archer, and Dick Purcell, were sort of messing around by this plane, looking at it and going, "Oh, whoa, our plane looks a bit damaged," and all this business. And then next minute, John Archer, or Bill Summers in the film, is saying, "Where's Mac? Has anyone seen him?" I thought, he was with you literally a second ago. Have they cut a bit out? It's just like, I don't understand. Surely that should be where you turn around and go, "Oh, it's gone." Not, well, has anybody seen him? He's in the building at this point. So it's not much of a review, it's basically that, because it was decent. But the zombies, like I say, were not like modern zombies, more like slaves. All sent inside this house. And it's an interesting story, but like I say, it just lost me when Mac disappeared. Jeff was annoying towards the end. There's some crackle in the sound, but that's because it's an old film. And what I've done with this one, you can find this one on YouTube. I think it's that old. You can rent it on Amazon for £2.49 for SD quality. But you can. I've linked the YouTube video because it's that old. It's not. I think copyright's probably expired on this one years ago. It just didn't grab me. I'd actually give it a 4.5 or 5 maybe if I'm really pushing it. But if Jeff would have quit the jokes, I would have given it a higher one. Because like basically the others, Dick Purcell, John Archer, Henry Victor, the zombies, the old woman, the maid, this woman that's walking around, I think she's a wife or something, I don't know. All these people, if you removed Manton Moreland, the one that keeps cracking all these jokes, completely out of the film, then it's an adventure horror. That's what it is. They crash land, they don't know what's going on, this doctor seems a bit dodgy, there's some zombies walking around, and they're trying to solve out where Max disappeared and stuff like that. That's what it is. And you've got him buggering about going, "Oh, I'm not a zombie. Oh, I thought it was. Oh, yeah." And it's like, "Will you shut up?" You know? That's why I think it had the low rating. Because he just kept going on and on and on. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed watching this, or listening to this review of King of the Zombies. Like I said, I do black and white ones. Sometimes there might be a high rating. There might be like a 9 or a 10, believe it or not, in IMDb, but that's because most people don't watch black and white films. And even if you do, you probably watch the famous ones, like maybe Sherlock Holmes or something like that. Basil Rathbone, the best one ever. Okay, right, on to the next one.